Is your work schedule a factor in determining how much custody you can get? Hi, I'm Alicia Kinchlow with Kinchlow Law, and today we're going to talk about your work schedule and how that can factor into custody. All right, so in Pennsylvania, there are 16 factors a court is supposed to consider. Your work schedule is not one of them. Now, that does not mean that it's not something the court can consider, because that bonus factor, the 16 factor, is actually any other relevant factors. So basically, that's kind of the catch-all. There's also one factor already included in the 15 other factors that does kind of give some consideration to your work schedule. Now, some of the things that I see, we have firefighters who in the city of Philadelphia, for example, have a rotating schedule. They do 2 days of day shift, 2 days of night shift, and then are off for 4 days. And it rotates. So this is a 4-day rotating schedule. And then they may do some additional overtime. You have police officers whose schedules tend to rotate every 2 weeks. They're on one particular schedule. And they might do a 4-day shift and a 5-day shift. And again, it rotates every 2 weeks. And it's not necessarily a Sunday to Sunday type of situation. It's rotating in the middle of the week. And then we have our transit workers, our SEPTA workers, or our Amtrak workers, or even pilots whose schedules are coming down to them sometimes in a quarterly fashion, sometimes in a yearly fashion. And when you have one parent whose schedule rotates like that, it can be difficult. Now, some of the other factors that the court does consider in awarding custody is stability. And we see that language 2 times in the factors. And sometimes stability can be used as a reason for a parent who has a job with a rotating schedule like that to not have as much custody, and sometimes to only get custody on their days off. Now, as a family law attorney, as a custody attorney, I usually look to a few other things to kind of help argue why that parent should still have a lot of time with their child. One, we look at, what type of time do they have with the child throughout that child's life. And this is definitely helpful in situations where that child is used to having that parent in the household. So maybe the parents were married or definitely living together, and this schedule worked with the other parent's schedule, but now that they're separated, it's a little harder. When we're talking about what's in the best interest of the child, we have to think about how does, not spending a significant amount of time with that parent that they're used to seeing at some point every day, how does that affect them? Another thing that we look at too is, the factor where it considers the ability of a parent to make childcare arrangements. Now, sometimes you'll hear a parent say, well, if the child is just going to be in daycare when they're with the other parent, they should just be with me. They should be with a biological parent. And generally, the courts do favor having a child with a biological parent over somebody else, but they realize the need of people to be able to work, to be able to earn a living, and they don't want to fault one parent for being able to work or having to work, and the other parent just doesn't have to right now or has a job that's a little bit more amenable to maybe a child's schedule. Maybe their work is during the day. So just because you have to work or your work schedule is one where it's going to cause you to spend some time away from your child during the week, it does not mean that you can't even get primary custody or shared custody. It means that you need to make sure that you can convey to the judge that you have appropriate child care arrangements, that they're still going to be spending a significant amount of time with you, and that it's still in their best interest. All right, so those are just a few things to think about when you have a work schedule that might interfere with your custody situation. I hope you found this video helpful. As always, speak to an attorney licensed in your area about the facts specific to your case. If you want to talk to an attorney from my office, you can visit kinchlowlaw.com, or you can give us a call to schedule a consultation with us, and that information is down in the show notes. All right, until next time, take care.